Hello,
Yay.
everyone. Hi, Cori. Welcome to the Kajeology podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, just so everyone knows, Corey and I met at a coffee shop, which is right across the street from where I live, called Dark Horse. And I don't even know how we got started talking. Actually, no, we actually originally met down in Reno at one of those.
Oh, at the breathwork, at the yoga thing.
The yoga
But
thing.
but you
Yeah, it
did
was
a
like
you did a breathwork class
I
and
was
I've been
facilitating breath work. Yeah,
yeah.
there were elixirs there. And so we first met there, but
Hmm.
then we reconnected at the coffee shop and I remember you mentioning something about journaling and manifestation, and that's when we started vibing about the artist way. And so since then, you have told me about some really magical things that have happened in your life, and I'm sure there's even more things to share. And the two things that really stood out to me about what we're vibing on is your work with the morning pages from the artist way and then the 369 method that you used to manifest a lot of money.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Money's gone now, but it was here.
it was there.
It
Yes.
was here. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, well, should I just start first on the artist way because that's kind of where it all began.
Yeah.
I did the artist way it was January of 2021 that I started it. So what is that? We're almost in 2025. Has it really been 4 years? I think it's been almost 4 years.
And what is the artist way?
The artist way is a 12-week program. I think it's set up like the 12-step program for alcoholism, except it's for creativity. So, but essentially, I will say it's focused on creativity, but I just think it's an all around, like the best self help thing you could ever do for yourself. It requires a lot of discipline. It's really hard. And my advice to anyone that wants to do it is don't take it so literally for 12 weeks. For me, I actually think the first time I did it twice because I'm a little bit crazy, but whatever. Um, the first time I did it, I think I did it in 16 weeks. So, for example, if on one of the weeks I was busy or if I was just like overwhelmed, I would just stay with that week for an extra week. So I would make sure I didn't rush through because there's a lot. It's a lot.
Mhm.
But the two main components of the artist way are the morning pages and artist dates, which morning pages are journaling every single morning, 3 pages, freehand, whatever comes to your mind, anything, as long as you fill 3 pages. And then the artist dates, which I realize I've been doing essentially my entire career as a flight attendant, is one big artist date, right? Because I'm a flight attendant. I have been for almost 15 years, and you're by yourself a lot. So it's just basically any outing where you're by yourself and you don't do it, you don't tell anyone about it, you just kind of do it. You're just with yourself. And the morning pages, though, I will say, I've impressed myself, honestly, because I have not missed one day in 4 years. I did the calculations recently on whatever 3 pages times however 4 years. It's actually wild because I'm very busy. I'm a very busy person. My schedule is actually insane. Um, but I've never missed a day. And I usually use a composition book. This is my current one. But oh, I should have like got the stack ready. I have like 40 composition books that are just filled. And I mean, they're not, I use wide ruled. Do not get college ruled. It's a mistake. I've done it. And my theory is I like to stick with it. So I have gotten journals that have thin lines and then I end up writing like which probably is equivalent of 6 pages and takes me an hour, but I've done it. And I've never missed a morning. And I think the best thing about the pages for me is that there's something about it's just like a brain dump of everything. So I'm a very naturally happy person. However, situations in my life, like it doesn't mean I don't get annoyed or pissed off often. So, but when I wake up and I write down anything that's bothering me or anything like at all, immediately get it out on the paper, it really does kind of leave your head in a way. Like it's still there. I might still be annoyed about the situation, but most of the emotion is let out on the paper, and then I feel lighter. I just feel lighter. So then
Hmm.
I go into all my days feeling light and just kind of like, oh, cool, like I've purged all the bullshit, and it's just so much better. But for me, the pages are difficult at first. I will say, like, I'm not gonna lie, I think the first month, I don't know if I made 3 pages a day. It's hard. It's but then once you get into the flow, it's not that hard. And I have like kind of just write about what I did the day before, just kind of like a recap of my day. And then I spend the like a whole page and a half writing about what I want to do today, like what my current day, what I want it to look like. And I will write exactly what I want out of the day. And then the crazy thing is when you write what you want, most of the time you're going to get exactly what you want. It might not be in the exact way that you thought, but it will like it's happened. And I've like it's kind of crazy, but I mean, it's been it. I don't know. Now I'm just like I don't know. I It's crazy, but it works. So I just haven't stopped, and I don't
Yeah.
know if I ever will stop. And it's I've all doesn't matter what time of the day it is. I wake up at 3 in the morning for work a lot. If I'm on the East Coast for a flight, then I just wake up at 2 in the morning and I do my debate. I don't miss it. And I don't, for me, it's like, it only takes me about 20 to 30 minutes now to do my 3 pages, where it used to take like 45 minutes to an hour. Cause it, you've done it. It could be a whole morning. You're just like, I'm really trying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading this book right now called Scripting the Life You Want. And I don't know if you've ever read it before, but
Oh.
he has you doing like very specific journaling in the morning. One of the things is setting, you know, 6 to 7 intentions and then choosing two to four of those intentions that you feel are for sure going to come true, like you truly believe that that can happen for you. And then what you do after that is write out how you do it in the morning. You write out how that day is going to go for you, what you just
Mhm.
basically described.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found, because you said that morning pages are really hard at first, and that's exactly what I noticed is that I started them when I was van lifing, and so everything was so in the feminine, like flowy, unsure, changing every day. Like there was no structure to my day. So I found that my morning pages were just, I would just get so distracted by everything else and all the
Hmm.
thoughts that I ended up just creating what I call manifestation pages. Have I told you about this?
No.
Okay, so still 3 pages, but instead it's a page of brain dump, a page of gratitude, and a page of future scripting. And that future scripting could be that day, or it could be 10 years into the future or whatever, but you're just getting into the vibration of your desires already being there.
Yeah.
Um, but as you're talking about just brain dumping and releasing all the thoughts that are popping around in your head, I'm like, maybe I need to get back into that.
Well, I will say, it's interesting when you say that when you don't have much structure to your day, or like today is one of those days where I just literally I woke up at 9, drank some water, and I actually set my alarm to meet with you. I took a nap in my circle chair. I already took a nap, and I started writing, and then I left a page and a half and I finished it right before we started, because this is a day off for me, and I don't have a lot of days off at the moment. I've been flying a lot and traveling a lot. 'Tis the season. But I will say, when I'm at work, when I have to be somewhere, like when I'm at work, I have a strict morning routine and schedule. So I'm able to get my morning pages done within 20 minutes really quick. So it's interesting to see that, like, no, like, I really can get these pages done quickly when I have shit to do.
Yeah.
But it's when I have these days of like leisure, which are great. I have noticed sometimes the morning pages, they might take me an hour and a half, because I'm like, I'll write a sentence and then I'll go. I'm not like perfect. I'm not sitting there like, oh, let me 3 pages. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm thirsty. I'm gonna get a drink. Oh, I'm gonna make a smoothie. And I'll literally write, I'm gonna make a smoothie, be right back. And then I'll like, as if I'm talking, but it's cool because you are talking to yourself essentially on paper, but it's not something that I feel like we visit very often. Like during the day, we're so busy. And we're so like overstimulated all the time. It's really good to just like take inventory every day. And
I
then,
love
yeah, wait, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, I love that you do that even if you have to wake up at 3, or even if you, yeah, wake up at 3 a.m., you wake up at 2 a.m. to get the morning pages done. That's dedication right there.
Well, and I found that I swear it just makes my day. I go into my days like with more peace because I've at since I have a lot to pull from because I have been doing my job for over like a decade and a half at this point, which is absolutely wild to me.
Hmm.
But I like look at myself and my life before I started the artist way and before I started all these self-care practices. I've like changed my life up quite a bit in the past 4 years. Like I don't drink alcohol. It's been like 4 years with no alcohol. Um, and I've been vegan for 8 years. Just like over the years of flying, I've had to like tweak my lifestyle so I can feel my best at work because it's just being a flight attendant it isn't for the weak. It's hard and it's really like it messes up your body. Like, and if you don't take care of yourself, you'll feel it real fast. And I noticed that for me, I mean, as much as eating right and hydrating and all that, for me, like journaling is huge. Like as far as feeling good, because I can remember showing up to work all frazzled and like I'd have panic attacks sometimes. Like after work, I'd have panic attacks, and that was like normal for me. That
Hmm.
was like my normal. It's like, well, I just had a panic attack, but like I guess that makes sense because I just worked like 12 flights in 1 week and now I have to fly to Florida to go to a wedding and I don't have time for myself. But the the difference now is like I make that time for myself in the morning, and even if I have days still where I'm just like busy I am nonstop, but I always can count on that like 30 minutes to myself every morning, and it makes a huge difference when you start
Hmm.
out all your days for yourself and you're not just waking up and going. You're like, okay, I mean, it really only takes, I think I've like had mornings where I've done it in 15 minutes, which is like awesome. I love it when I'm like, oh wow, that all just came out so fast. I don't even remember it. But I love routine. I love structure. I love me a worksheet. I love structure. I love anything with like, it's just, it's better for my brain at least. And I know with the morning pages, it's basically just like when you say what you want out loud or on paper, I mean, it's heard because I can't even believe the amount of things that have happened to me in the past couple of years where I'm just like, wow, like
Without
wild.
without getting into the big one that I want to talk about, which you use during
Oh,
the
yeah.
369 method,
Oh,
what are
yeah.
some things that have manifested?
Well, I mean, I feel like I manifested my apartment, a brand new studio apartment. Like it almost felt like when I moved here, this place was being built for me in a weird way. Like not to sound so conceited, but I feel like this was built for me. Like I just was like, oh, I moved to a new city, how or town, not even a city. How am I gonna like find a place? Everything's so expensive. I don't want to, I was like, oh, I'm gonna live in a house with a bunch of people, but I've already done that. I've lived that life, and I was like, I really wanted my own place. And then sure enough, like it felt like with these, I just ended up in like artist housing in a brand new studio, like beautiful. Uh, so many things I will say manifesting like like the one of the best drum teachers I could have imagined. He now plays drums for the Offspring. Like I just crazy. Like I this Taylor Swift movie poster straight from the cinema. But no, for real, I've manifested for example, with drumming, I bought my drum set when I moved here to Truckee. I'd never played drums before. I bought a drum set, and as you know, because you host many open mics, you've seen me go and play my stupid songs, my angry songs, and then I ended up recording my EP, like a solo EP, and within 2 months, I had because I was petty and saying about being pulled over for buying a box of tampons, I ended up reaching out and like I ended up getting a tampon sponsorship and $1,000 grant to have a party. Like all of this stuff, I feel like when you truly do like what you want to do, and it just everything just kind of like is given to you in a way. It's like here's this. Everything's just there. It's
Hmm.
all there. There's just like you got to work through the blockages that are a lot of times just like It really is that simple. It's just like, what do you want? And if something seems ridiculous, I mean, as long as you're being real, right? I mean, I'm like, it is ridiculous, like to get pulled over for not, like, I don't know, the whole situation was lame. But at the end of the day, I don't know, I feel like I've so many things that have come into my life and I'm like, how did this happen? It just feels like too easy sometimes.
Hmm.
That's how it's like for me, a manifestation that comes through is like when it comes through, I think, wow, that was actually like easy. How did that all just work out? Like in a way that I wouldn't even think could ever, it just is given, it feels like it was just given to me. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you want an organic tampon sponsorship? Here you go. Oh, you want $1,000 for your CD release party? Here you go. Oh, you want this Taylor Swift poster? Here you go. Side note, wouldn't have been, I will say it wouldn't have been that easy to get the poster if I was living in like LA or New York because I'm a small town Swiftie. So being a small town Swiftie has its benefits, but
So tell me about the 369 method and what you how you used it and what you manifested with it.
Okay, a 369 method, I'll admit I saw from scrolling TikTok. Um, these people were talking about how if you write 3 times, you basically write what you want. For example, for me, I'm extra. I wrote a whole paragraph. Maybe wouldn't do that if I did it again because it's a lot of work, but write down something you want. It can be a statement of something you want or the way you want your life to be, but you write it in the present tense as you already have it. For example, I am debt free. I am a great musician. Anything like that, like as something that you want. I am. Let's say if I wasn't a flight attendant, I am a flight attendant. Just whatever you want, and you write out. You write this out, this sentence or whatever it is, 3 times in the morning when you wake up, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times before bed. And I did this method for 365. I did it for one full year. I did it from, I think it was September 26th of 2023 to September 26th of 2024. And it's one of those things when I start something, I just like have to finish it. And for me, it was like with the morning pages, I truly believe this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, I can't imagine not writing every morning. But the 369 method's gnarly because like it's a lot. It's 3 times a day. You're like, oh, I gotta do this, and I did it still. Like, and the before bed too, I would like come home really late from roller skating. It would be like midnight. I'm like, oh, I have to go do my 9, and you go do it. But when you're sitting with yourself 3 times a day, writing what you want, all of those times, like you're gonna there's like of course you're gonna live your life in a way that's gonna like go towards those things. So it's just like a good way to keep yourself like on your shit and focused. But with that, I felt like things happened very rapidly with that. And it was just sometimes it would be a little overwhelming. I was like, how did this happen? Like, and I did. It's like I use the term manifest, but it did feel like manifestation, but it was also years in the making of how I ended up getting like a check for 11 grand or whatever. Like that was not like, let's be honest here. That was that was due for me for unpaid wages and stuff, class action lawsuit stuff. But I've always said that the universe will reward hard work. May take a long time. I've always said I will see this in the future. This will come back to me. I know it. I'm putting in all this work now. I might not see money or any sort of like, I might not see anything from it now, but there's going to be something. And truly, like, as I'm doing this, it just seemed I kept getting all of this, like, whether or not it was like $151 tip on Instacart on like a small order. I'm like, what? Like, how? Like, all of this stuff. And it would just all work out for me. Like, even if on that particular day I only had like $20 in my bank account, for some reason I'd end the day with like way more in there. And I'm like, I don't know. It just works. And
So I remember you said, so there was a class action lawsuit, tips
yeah,
were coming in, but then you also said that like you were in a small fender bender or something like
yeah,
that and ended up receiving.
yeah. So it's like even sometimes things that like completely suck And I remember that day. Ironically, I remember the exact date because it was my Nana's birthday. Rest in peace, Nana. It was March 14th. And it was that day I got a car hit me. I was fine. It's fine. Car's a little, but whatever. Uh, I went to Dark Horse that night, and that was the first time I ever played Incel in public. And it was that whole day. And it was like, I ended up, it sucks. Like, someone hit your car, it sucks. Like, God damn it. Like, but then you never know. You might get some abundance from it. And it's just that whole thing. I don't know. I think it's also mindset, like inconveniences and little things happen all the time that are annoying and suck. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, like it's just mindset. It really is everything. And like writing positive things, thinking positive things. And I know like there is some things that just like really, really suck. And like, but that's okay. I write about that in my morning pages, how much things suck sometimes.
Yeah, well, things can suck and still have positive
Yeah.
outcomes. Things can suck in the moment and still shift and bring you thousands of dollars that you've been
Yeah.
asking for.
Yeah. And it's not like, of course, the way that everything is, I would say, our generation has been handed a not so great. Things are very ridiculous, but it really is. You have to be extremely mentally strong to like survive. As a millennial, I feel like we've gone through so much, and like it's at this point, I'm just like, well, it will all work out, and it does. It really does all work out. Like, and one of my favorite yoga teachers, Helen, she always says, that's none of my business. Like, however something's going to happen, whatever you want, oh, I want this. It's none of my business how it's going to happen, but it will happen. Like, if you really want something to happen, it can happen. Like,
Hmm.
I never, I never thought I'd have like music on Spotify already this year. I never thought I'd have like this beautiful apartment, like living what I think is like my dream life. Like, I literally live, my life is so awesome. I'm so lucky. I am so grateful. But I will say, like, I did put in years of hard work, but it was just little, like, it, which for me, my definition of hard work, it might be different for someone else. But, like, for example, with my seniority as a flight attendant, like, people might look at my life and think, like, oh, you're so lucky. You go to Japan all the time. Like, I think I'm going to go to Korea on Friday after I get back from New York for work. But, like, all of this is like because I literally put in over a decade of like sleeping in Columbia, no shade, but Columbia, South Carolina every week for a whole year. Like, it's depressing. Like, like staying at the Hampton Inn for every week for a year. Like, I've had a lot of really like lonely hotel nights and a lot of really like bad flights and a lot of really like challenging moments in my life as a flight attendant. But as I've gotten older and realized, like, at the end of the day, I mean, all of this has transferred over into my job in a beautiful way, like with energy and just in general with people. Like, for example, I can work a flight with, there's four of us on a crew, and I can work a flight. And in my eyes, the flight was great. I talked to awesome people. It was a great flight. Someone else who might have like a more negative mindset would get off that and just be like, oh, that flight was so awful. That dude in 21 Delta sucked. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even see him. Like, I didn't, he wasn't on my field. Like, he wasn't on my, like, hey, I don't know. I didn't experience that. Um, like, it really is important to keep your vibe high. And
Yeah.
things like journaling and eating right and sleep, sleep, super important. Which was
Yeah. It's like you didn't
that,
even,
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say you didn't even feel when you're in a vibration that is up here, you're not going to feel people who are down here. It'll just go right past you, completely unaware. I've been told that before by bosses. They're like, you don't even realize when people are being mean, right? Because I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, because I'm not available for that.
yeah. I'm not available for that. I love that. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
yeah, please. I'm not available for that. Like, I have been available for that in the past, and it never ends well. It's not worth it.
Right.
It's like not worth the. I mean, obviously, when it comes to my job, of course, like not everyone's happy all the time at the airport or on the planes. And I do everything I can to like, but when you approach things as like on a better, like when you have a good mindset, like people feed off that, it's good. It's like, it's contagious, and I'll never get over like, I'm so grateful that I don't even remember how I heard about the Artist Way. I think it was just on Instagram or something. Someone was talking about it and I was like, what's this? And I've always been into like reading self-help books, but it's hard. Some of those I get like bored or they don't stick. But what I loved about the Artist Way was the structure of it all. It felt like a course, like a little college course that I could do on my own time,
Hmm.
with homework assignments and everything. And
Do you write your 369 method in the same journal that you do your morning pages?
great question. I had a separate journal. So I would do my morning pages and then I had a separate book, like a journal or composition book. And for that one I used College Ruled because it like lasted, longer. But I'd have my separate book. So I'd have two composition books with me at all times. So I just have like my morning pages and then the other book. And I would just take that, my 369 journal, I'd take that with me. If I was like out for the afternoon, I would take it with me. And it's kind of like a be gentle on yourself. It's not the end of the world for me if I was like, oh, I forgot to write my afternoon. So then at night I just write six and then a nine and then another nine. Like I always did it three times, six times, and nine times. But like, sometimes you're doing stuff and you can't stop and do that. But there's I don't know, there's something pretty magical about writing and like writing what you want. And like I said, you don't have to worry so much about how it's going to happen because if you want something, like things will like rearrange themselves to work out. Like
Hmm.
it just like, oh, how did that happen? Even like if there's something I want to do or somewhere I want to go, but my work schedule is not allowing that, I'll get an email from a coworker, hey, do you want to swap this trip? And it's like exactly what I need. Or someone just, I mean, I've had it where people will email me and be like, hey, do you want your trip on this date? I would love this layover. I'm like, you would? Cool. Here you go. Like it's weird. I don't know.
How much did you end up manifesting from the 369 method?
I think it was $16,000 total.
$16,000, which
Yeah.
was, and I think you told me that there was like a credit card that had that much on it or debt that you
Oh
owed
yeah.
it as.
Exactly. Like I was able to pay off my credit card. I had a $10,000 credit card that I racked up. So I paid that off and then I paid off another 5 grand credit card. And yeah, then everything was great. Now, we're getting back to got to be a little careful now. Might have to do the 369 method again. But no, it's fine. I mean, I have to remember that life's hard. Like this is ridiculous. Like I am not adequately compensated for what I do,
Mhm.
really. But at the end of the day, like I doing what I love, like not worrying so much about money brings more money. Like for example, I sold out of CDs. I had to reorder merch for my shirts. Like like I said, I got that $1,000 grant. Like um people at work ask me all the time because I don't fly. I try to fly like not minimum, but like a pretty low flying schedule because I think I've flown enough. Like I'm trying to like live my life. And people will ask all the time, like, do you have another job? And I'm like, well, one, it's not your business. Second of all, like it's, I whatever. But no, I don't have a second job. I just do things that I really like love. And then money does like I do see money from that when I do things that I love, like whether it's my art or but I don't, I'm not out here. I think when you think too much about making money from art and all of the stuff that like brings you true happiness, it can get messy and it's not worth it. But I don't know. The money thing is interesting because I've read a lot of things and watched a lot of talks about how money is like it's energy and it's just it when you're open to things and when you're willing to receive, like there's lots of money out there. There's tons of money out there. Like when I got that grant for the party, I remember thinking like, they just have $1,000 sitting there. Like it's just there. there's so many grants out there that are just, there's tens of thousands of dollars that are just sitting there for artists. Like you just have to like go out there and ask for it and apply. I had to, not gonna lie, I had to send like 15 emails. You got to be persistent. It's not just gonna like, it's not literally just gonna be like, here you go. You do have to put in work. You do have to like ask for things. But once you start asking, it just gets easier. Like after the first couple emails, I was just like, all right, let's send another email. I want that $1,000. And then yeah, eventually, oh yeah, looks like it worked out. Here you go. Like, because people are busy. People are like, they might check their email and they'll be like, oh, I got to get back to it. And then if you keep showing up, it all comes down
Absolutely.
to showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've noticed too, is that when I want something and I believe I can have it, then the inspired action shows up. And that inspired action might be sending an email to this person, and then following up with this person and this person, and then sending an email to 10 new people, right? But either way, I'm doing the things to show the universe that I believe that I can have this. And in that energy, in that vibration, the universe has to respond with a similar and exact matching vibration. So that's when things manifest, is because you want it, you believe you can have it, you take the action that shows the universe that you're willing to do the work to get it, and then boom, it happens, usually through a way that I would have never guessed.
Yes. And sometimes it doesn't happen. And then other things happen. And then something better happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cori, where can people learn more about your art and your music and what you're up to?
Let's see. Well, I'm on Spotify under Cori Elba. It's Cori space Elba. And then I do have an Etsy shop. I've had it on vacation mode for a minute. Like, I just realized I've been on vacation mode throughout all the holidays, which is like the opposite of what most stores do. But I've just been that busy. But it proves I don't do it for the money. I'm just like, when am I available? But anyways, I have an Etsy store and it's on planetweird.etsy.com. And yeah, I don't know. I do a lot. I have a Bandcamp, corielba.bandcamp.com, where I sell my shirts there and CDs, which I've reordered because I just sold out, but there's more coming next week and I'm super stoked. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just out there doing a million things, but we
I
love
love
it.
it.
I love
I
it
love
all.
it. Yeah. I totally resonate with that too. People are like, "How many jobs do you have?" I'm like, "Plenty. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it."
And all that's like jobs, it's just like things that I love doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sweet. Well, anything else you want to add to somebody who's thinking about starting morning pages or the 369 method?
Yes, I will say for the morning pages, I think the morning pages is I'm not saying one are better than the other, like both methods, but I would say the morning pages for me, I'd say try that and don't be so hard on yourself in the beginning. If you just get one page out or just half a page, as long as you're doing it every morning, I think that's what's important. But don't worry about the 3 pages like right away because it's a lot. It's a lot. It seems crazy, but then I swear, once you get into at least 3 weeks of doing even half a page or one page, you'll start writing more. It's a muscle, and then you'll eventually like train it and you'll be like, oh, this is not bad. And then you realize you got a lot to say. Like, I mean, I know, like, I got a lot all the time. I'm like, I got a lot to write about. But yeah, just show up and do it. But don't be so hard on yourself with like the length of it. Just try and show up every morning.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.